Hey everybody, Ash here for the Triple S League with 3 indie game reviews in a convenient one video package. Let us know what you think of this new format in the comments. The idea is to increase exposure for all 3 of these games by packaging them into a longer video, which is favorable to YouTube's algorithm, but also to show you a variety of quality indie titles that you may not have heard of before. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Krystopia, A Puzzle Journey, is a game I thoroughly enjoyed playing. It's a point-and-click puzzle game set on a mysterious foreign planet. I could tell immediately that this game was built for mobile, and I'd recommend checking out the mobile version if you're looking for a casual puzzler to play on your couch, but I enjoyed playing it on PC as well. The graphics are simplistic but fully 3D, although your view on the world is limited to a specific range of rotation. Now, you'll probably notice in my footage that there's some noticeable stuttering in the camera movement. That was definitely present throughout the gameplay, and it was a little annoying. I couldn't seem to get away from it even when I turned the graphics settings down. That's my one big complaint about this game. Now granted, I was playing a pre-release version, and I don't know if the same thing happens on the mobile versions. Hopefully it gets fixed in a future version, but honestly it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the game all that much. It was a minor annoyance. Hopefully it gets fixed, but I'm really only mentioning it to be completely thorough. As for the gameplay itself, the levels are set up like a series of escape rooms, although instead of trying to escape, you're actually trying to progress, but the principles are the same. Within each room is a series of things to find and puzzles to solve in order to progress, and the puzzles include some mechanics I'd never seen before. For example, some of the puzzles are basically alien circuit boards where you have to figure out how to transfer power to a specific device, but the power acts like a fluid. It'll flow wherever it finds an opening, it can be temporarily stored in certain components, and only so much can fit in a certain amount of space. It took some practice to wrap my head around it, especially since the puzzles are fully 3D and force you to think in the Z-axis. There are also some more conventional puzzles, as well as some that span entire rooms or even multiple rooms. Overall, the difficulty ranges from easy to what I would consider the high end of moderate difficulty. I don't normally base my opinion of a puzzle game on its story, but in this case, the story and lore really ices the cake. Something mysterious happened on this planet, and protagonist Nova Dune is determined to find out what. The story unfolds through narration from the main character, who is fully voiced, and through finding data crystals that contain bits of the story. There's also some good humor as Nova comments on the alien artifacts that you find. Overall, I finished the game in under 3 hours, but pretty much enjoyed every minute of it. For the price, it's a pretty good value if you enjoy puzzle-based or escape room-style games. Krystopia, A Puzzle Journey is available for $4.99 US on Steam or $2.99 US for Android and Apple devices. Next, we have a free one, but don't let that price give you the wrong idea about the game's quality. Vecter is a passion project from indie developer Taranasus, who is basically developing it as a hobby. It's a retro-style arcade runner where the objective is to get as far as possible without crashing, with bonus points for speed and style. A simple concept, but this free early access game already has more features than the Epic Games Store, including controller support, leaderboards, and the ability to auto-update to the latest version on launch. It even has a form of asynchronous multiplayer that shows you the death locations of other players, live leaderboard standings, and even live playbacks of other players' runs. And your own, actually. Of course, if you don't like those things, you can turn them off in the options menu. The glowy wireframe graphics and synthwave soundtrack give Vecter an incredible retro ambiance. The procedurally generated track resets once per day, meaning that all players are always playing on the same track, and there's a daily competition for that top spot on the leaderboard. According to the game's Steam page, which has just recently gone live, planned features for the game include a shooting mechanic, a level editor, more multiplayer features, and possibly a competitive mode. And if you have any other ideas, it's easy to tell the developer about them. He's incredibly active with updates and comments on Twitter and in other places, and his Discord server has a feature requests channel and other rooms where you can interact with fans of the game. Honestly, I have nothing negative to say about this one. Granted, it's not done yet, but the developer has a strong community focus and every feature added so far has a high degree of polish. There's a lot that modern AAA publishers could learn from this kind of approach. At the time of this recording, Vecter is not yet downloadable via Steam, but it will be very soon. In the meantime, it's available on IndieDB, GameJolt, itch.io, or directly from the game's website. Finally, we have my latest casual gaming addiction, a game with some of the most innovative, genre-blending gameplay I've seen in a long time. Powered by the aptly named Falling Everything engine, Noita is a 2D action platformer roguelite with incredibly deep game world physics. And when I say deep, I mean every pixel is a physically simulated particle that interacts with the player and with everything else in the game world. There are dozens of different materials, some real, some completely fictional and magical, and different states of matter including rigid solids, powdered solids, liquids, and gases, as well as various forms of energy. All of these interact with one another in specific ways. You set off an explosion near water, you're going to get clouds of steam, and nearby wood is going to burn. If toxic sludge spills into lava, the two will mix and solidify into toxic rock, etc. You literally never know what's going to happen each time you start the game, and all of this takes place in the context of a dungeon crawl through a procedurally generated map full of monsters, treasures, and permadeath. You play as some sort of wizard, and your weapons are magic wands and potions. Various liquids will stain your clothing, giving you different buffs or other effects. There are a variety of biomes to progress through as you descend through the world, seeking to become as powerful and rich as possible before a lucky shot from an enemy finally takes you out. There are dozens of different spells and spell modifiers available to attach to your wands, and by the way, the moment this game absolutely hooked me was when I realized I could modify and customize the spells that my wands cast. The replay value and potential for emergent gameplay here is incredible. Also, I want to highlight one feature of this game that's easily lost amid the physics and the awesome visuals, and that is the sound design. It's one of those things that you hardly notice because it's so good, but the sounds of fire crackling, the ambient background noises, the footsteps of enemies that are just off screen hiding somewhere in the dark, all of it works together to make this pixely magical world feel really alive. Not to mention the fact that as you're exploring the map, you'll often find the remnants of action that took place before you got there. The whole world is alive around you, not just what's on screen. Monsters and humanoid enemies fight each other, and they'll even pick up and start using the magic wands that they find lying around. Which, by the way, could lead to some interesting strategies if you put some destructive spells on a wand and then bait an enemy into picking it up. The one caution I'll give for Noita is that it's not done yet. It's fully playable in early access and will likely keep you entertained for dozens of hours if you're a fan of roguelikes, but the world design isn't fully realized yet. If you explore far enough in certain directions, you'll come across things that look unfinished. There isn't a lot of help offered to new players, and there's a lot of trial and error involved in learning to play. But still, the core features have a high degree of polish, and there's already an extensive wiki available to help with learning about the game. If you're interested in getting in on the early access version, it's available on Steam for $18 US. So there you go, 3 great indie titles that I've enjoyed playing recently. I hope you decide to try out one or more of them, and if you do, let them know that the SSS League sent you. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will talk to you again very soon. Thanks so much for watching, don't forget to like, sub, and hit that notification bell, and then check out some of these other videos. Find the link to our Discord server and other important stuff in the description below.
What?